Good evening. My name is Tawana Collins, and I will be discussing the HLPs that I found to be beneficial in a special education classroom where mathematics is being taught. The first HLP that I found to be helpful is HLP 1. Collaborate with professionals to increase student success. Communicating with other professionals will assist with improving student grades by determining their strengths and weaknesses. Teachers can discuss what students are struggling with inside of the classroom versus the things that they easily understand and are excelling at. What works for one teacher may work for others, but if it doesn't, teachers can find ways to incorporate the student interest in their lessons. By communicating with other teachers, teachers who are experiencing issues with certain students may find a better way to communicate with them from teachers who are not having any issues at all. If I was having an issue with the student in my special education classroom, but I noticed that the teacher next door was not having any issues at all, I can communicate with that teacher to find out different techniques I can use inside of my classroom to communicate with this particular student better and engage with the student better so that I will not have any issues with the student as well. The second HLP that I found to be helpful was HLP 7. Establish a consistent, organized, and respectful learning environment. When meeting students for the first day of school, establish rules and guidelines that you expect them to follow. Provide students with the expectations you are seeking throughout the school year. Post a schedule inside of the classroom that details what time things will be completed. Provide positive feedback or rewards for the students' accomplishments. Incorporate student interest in your lesson plans to keep them alert and focused. A few things that I use in my regular classroom that I can also bring along to my special education classroom is a calendar. Well, not just a calendar, a schedule that details things that we are going to do that day, what time we're doing it, how long it'll last, and it also lists the next activity so that students know what is going to happen next. Another thing that I've always done is rewarded students for not just good behavior, but also good grades on assignments. With those rewards, to me, and I feel like for the students, it's motivation to keep going and to continue to do good on things. The next HLP that I found to be helpful was HLP 9, teach social behaviors. Teach students the correct way to ask questions. Teach students how to use their manners in the correct way. Teach students how to engage with their peers correctly. Teach students that negative reactions will result in a consequence. The few consequences that I have listed is something being taken away, sitting down for 5 minutes at the beginning of playtime, running a lap around the track, and if things get really bad to where you feel like there's just no hope with that child, then schedule a conference with that parent. By talking to that parent and letting that parent in, giving that parent a little bit of insight, that parent can give you insight on different things that you can do or things that their kid likes so that you can incorporate those things as an incentive for that child if he comes in a classroom and he behaves himself, if he shows that he knows how to use manners. These are different things that I will incorporate inside of my special education classroom. The next HLP that I found to be helpful is HLP 11, identify and prioritize long and short-term goals. Small goals should be realistic goals that are set and expected to be accomplished by the end of the month. As small goals are accomplished, students should be praised as a form of motivation to continue to do amazing as more goals are set for the following month. Accomplishing short-term goals is the foundation for establishing long-term goals. Long-term goals focus on academic, social, emotional, and behavior outcomes. Long-term goals should be established with the expectations of accomplishing them by the end of the school year. Short-term goals and long-term goals can be set in any classroom. I feel like they are super important in a special education classroom. And not only is it motivation for these students, but it will also assist the students in wanting to be better as well. With small-term goals, if you know a test is coming up at the end of the month, I plan ahead. And as I stated before, I have a calendar in my room, and I usually jot things down on that calendar so students know you're going to have a test this day, or this is due on this day. That way, students can already develop a goal and say, well, when that test comes on Friday the 28th, I want to set a goal to accomplish 4 out of 5 questions correctly. And then, as far as your long term goals, students can have a goal to where at the end of the school year, they've mastered a percentage of things that's been discussed in the classroom. And lastly, clarify the relationship between HLPs and EBPs. HLPs are instructional and professional practices that educators employ alone or in collaboration to implement EBPs. HLPs are used when EBPs are not available for a specific situation. EBPs are specific strategies teachers can use to address specific needs of learners. HLPs complement EBPs. While HLPs can be used as a teachable moment, EBPs can be modeled by students to ensure that they have a clear understanding of what is expected of them. Most HLPs are broader than EBPs, but when used together, students are provided with a more efficient and individualized education, which is our ultimate goal, to provide these students with the best education possible. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope that you all have a great night.